11. Friends don't lie. Stop it! You're freaking her out! She's freaking me out! The upside down.
Do you understand what he's talking about?
No. I found the chocolate bunny!
Oh God, please tell me it's not the kid.
I need you to hide!
Warnings are for coffee and contemplation.
Holy shit.
Welcome back. My name is Chris.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things. Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's not the name.
it should be.
A Stranger Things podcast. Wow, it's been a minute. I'm so sorry. We're so sorry. We're a team.
What do you mean? It's July 20th.
Yeah, we're doing super well.
Been a while.
It's not what we always do. They're like, your guys' lives are unstable. I don't know. I think you should give up. Is Chris about to go on his "This is what happened"?
It's pretty much all the emails we've been getting is you guys should probably just call it quits.
Here's a nit I have to pick. And whenever we do fun games, you know, we get very, very few emails. Like, hey, write in about the da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like fucking ghost town.
We make people up and read emails.
But when we fuck up, it's just flooding in like, episode? No, actually, it was very heartwarming, the amount of emails and tweets that we got asking where the episodes are at.
Chris cried.
I did.
Ugly tears.
So Steve and I are both in the process of buying homes, which has been massively, I don't know about Steve, but for me, it's been miserable. Huge process that I didn't really know the full extent of. So that's what, and I also got a promotion in my day job. So,
Congratulations.
yes,
buddy.
good stuff. I've sold my soul
Are you
a little bit
Mr.
more.
Manager now?
I am. They just call me Mr. Man for short at work.
You get the name tag with the magnet. You don't have to pin it on anymore.
I actually do have one of those.
Nice.
That's how you know you're moving up in the
No,
world.
everyone has one of those. Yeah. But I don't wear it. I actually don't have to wear it anymore is what that is. So good things, but a lot of craziness. So you know, Steve's, we record there often, but he's packed up all his equipment because he's in the process of moving. My schedule is insane. You know, Andy's been dealing a lot of drugs and stuff. So his business is picking up.
I just do a lot of stuff, man. It's like darts on Mondays, soccer on Wednesdays. I just started
I was
back at
actually
school.
gonna
I
mention
work
that.
full time. Like, fuck.
You have not been idle. Andy started an indoor soccer league.
Very recreational.
A dart league. Exceedingly recreational,
Who
that
the
Andy.
fuck are you? Quit making us look bad, you in shape person who
Doing
does sports stuff.
Yeah, stop that. Stop it.
To be fair, I sprained both of my wrists week one in soccer
That's
league.
true.
So it's
You
pretty
came
bad.
over to record and like your arms were purple. Like I fell down.
It's always funny when we're arguing over when to record. Hey, when are you guys free this week? And I'm like, I can't. I work. And then I got my son, you know, and then Steve's like, well, I'm working. And then the wife and I are doing this. And then we're moving to the house. And Andy's like, we're like, what about Monday? And Andy's like,
Got soccer.
can't, man. I'm learning how to hibachi that night, actually. You know how they throw the egg up? Yeah, 6 hours. It's a crazy crash course.
Onion volcano tonight, bro. It's gonna be sweet.
Onion volcano.
Those are
Are
awesome.
you gonna pull out the little person that like pees on the flaming volcano?
That's the best part.
Oh yeah. Nobody goes there for the food.
The sake pee.
That's a
what I'm
universal
there for.
hibachi thing, right? I'm not just making that up.
No,
Like-
no, I knew exactly what
Okay,
you're talking
okay,
about.
good. I didn't want to sound like a creeper's like, yeah, and then the naked guy pees on your meal.
You know, the Asian guy pees on you? Yeah. I go to some really like cellar hibachi joints. They're great. So anyway, we're going to continue on, believe it or fucking not, with the remaining 3 episodes of Stranger Things. We're not going to be streaming things of days past. It's like Westworld episode 2. And then we
and
just stop.
off for a year and a half.
Hell with it. And not only that, but we are still planning on continuing things, building a studio in either mine or Steve's house. I've got some plans. I don't know what Steve's setup's like, but we don't live far from each other. And we're going to start the YouTube stream that's still in the works and continue streaming things as kind of an overall, you know, pop culture, what we've been watching weekly podcast. So I'm very excited for that, but I do want to finish the Stranger Things coverage. So we're going to do our very best. We have rewatched the episodes and stuff for the most part, taken our usual thorough notes, or at least some of us have. So I hope you still remember enough about these episodes to enjoy what we're about to do. But this is episode 6, titled E Pluribus Unum. And Netflix.
Out of many, one.
Yes, out of many.
I super
one.
didn't know that.
It's Latin. I just Googled it right before the show, and that is neat.
That's on our money, Andy.
It is. But Netflix describes this episode thusly. Dr. Alexei reveals what the Russians have been building, and 11 sees where Billy has been. Dustin and Erica stage a daring rescue.
Pretty succinct.
It is. They just touched on all the notes that happened in that episode. That's all we've got this week on streaming things. I mean, fuck, that's it, right?
All right.
Okay, Steve, take it away. Guide us through this episode.
Interior. No, the episode...
cut back to 2 weeks later when you were fucking alive.
So the episode opens up with the Scoops troop, specifically, they've just discovered that the gate is being reformed by the Russians, and they attempt to start to leave, but unfortunately the guy that Steve beat the shit out of last episode has regained consciousness and has sounded the alarm, and so now they're after them.
Celebrated too soon. Couldn't tie him up or anything smart.
No. They got the fuzz, the heat's on them, the heat is on, and unfortunately Steve and Robin get caught, but Dustin and Erica, they get away in a vent, I think.
Which was a super cool moment for them. It was very Dad Steve moment to be like, you guys go, like get the kids away to safety, which was
I've
nice.
seen that like 6 times, right? And every time, I know, I get it. But they didn't, the way it's staged is weird to me because it's not like Robin volunteers and like, I'm not going to leave Steve, which makes more sense and is, you know what I mean? It would make Steve look better if he was trying to do it alone and Robin said, no, fuck that. Let's get the kids out of here. Mm-hmm. Steve legit goes, help me.
Help me, Robin.
Robin, also kill yourself. Fuck, so we can get these kids out of here, which I get, you know what I mean? It's just only slightly bothers me. But every time I think it's funny that they decided to do it that way. Like,
all right.
Well, you said staging weird. I actually had a note where, so that they see the gate, they walk down the stairs, see the Russian guy that they knocked out is like, oh, they got him. They chase them. They just go through a door, but they end up on the level above them. They don't go back up the stairs. They just open a door and they're where they would have been had they gone up the stairs. And I thought that was a really odd continuity error.
Yeah. Weird cut.
And I rewatched it a couple times. Like, is there like multiple levels that I'm not seeing? No, they pop up on that top level and then go downstairs. And so I don't know. Someone missed them going upstairs again.
Some fucking Tommy Wiseau shit. Guest director for that scene.
You're tearing me apart, Robin.
But Dustin's, he's funny in that scene because I won't forget you. Comedy's on point this season. Anyway, carry on.
It's kind of a strange scene to open up with considering last episode's cliffhanger, which we get back to, which is the goo monster starts chasing Nancy. Like last episode ended with it roaring with Nancy and Jonathan on each side of the hallway. Chases Nancy. She gets trapped in a corner. Jaybird can't save her, but luckily for them, 11 knows that the bad guy's there thanks to Will. She busts in that fucking door, throws that thing around, and chucks it out the window, and Nancy is saved.
That Spidey sense, the Willy sense. Which
the Will Tingle?
The Willy Tingle. And Jaybird's attempt is just pathetic to try to get in that room. I'm sorry.
All right.
He's like,
And he's like using a fire hydrant to like try to break the glass.
Not a hydrant, which would be super strong, but an extinguisher.
Oh. I got this hydrant.
Hey, this hospital's under construction. There's a hydrant here.
Weird. What did you guys think about that scene though? Because I love
beautifully done.
11 just thrashing that thing around the room. It was very violent, but like awesome. Like 11 kick its ass.
Right. I love the moment where because it's horrifying. Where what the fuck? What's her name?
Which
it's
one?
Been too long.
Nancy?
I know her actual name, but not her character's name. So Nancy locks the door, and then we're all like, "Yay!" And then it just melts and slides under the door, which is disgusting and terrifying as fuck, right? So like, what can stop this thing? And then, and Millie Bobby Brown, I think this season especially has really, and it tracks with her training with her lost sister in season 2 about how to harness her strength with anger, right? So she's kind of like a Wolverine Jean Grey now. You know what I mean? Like or like a Hulk Jean Grey. I don't know how you want to.
Oh my God, I hope she starts calling people bub.
But she just gets that rage like, and then tired afterward. But yeah, that was neat. I liked it.
My only problem with that sequence was, so she runs in and she like force grabs the mind flare thing and slams it in one wall and then slams it in the other wall and then slams it in the ceiling.
Yeah.
And now that
And then
is
slams it to the ground.
right, but that is a hospital like tile
Like a
ceiling.
drop ceiling?
Yeah, it's a drop ceiling. That thing should have gone through that and up into the fucking rafters.
She didn't want to disturb the people on floor 6. Like, she
It-
held it up. with
Right.
that, yeah.
It just sort of bounces off the tiles and a few of them get knocked loose. I'm like, really?
It's a super strong hospital ceiling.
I know, right? It's like ultra
Well,
reinforced.
it is conceivable. I know we're going way too in deep here, but that it's under construction, so they haven't done the drop ceiling yet. Like that's actually the block. You know, let's just go with that.
Word?
Different blocks. Steve.
Well, it gets thrown out the window. It kind of morphs into a blob, goes down the drain, leaving a spinal cord, which is gross. But eventually it rejoins the main...
Goo.
The mothership.
The mother goo.
The mother goo. And
It's time.
Billy says, it's time
Whatever that means.
to party.
Ever since you said word, I keep picturing Stranger Things, directed by Spike Lee, and I'm fucking losing it over here. That's Spike Lee joint. All right, go on.
Next up, we have the fair is being prepared. Mayor Klein yells at food cart guy because he's a dick, but he gets his comeuppance because the Russian guy kind of throws him on the spinny ride and threatens him like, you fly top or I kill you. That type thing.
He tries to hang tough, but it doesn't work out for him.
They actually
And he
like,
says "you people," which I was offended.
they actually have like weird comedy there. Where he's like, "I'm going to therapy," and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
is this the moment for it? Like, all right,
Does the Russian guy know what therapy is?
read the room.
Read the spinning room.
It's like, I go to therapy, and the Russian guy's like, word?
Oh my god, me too.
Me too. Who's your guy?
I tried this new medicine.
Dr. Robert Nygaard? Parks and Rec reference. All right.
After that, Hopper begins his interrogation of Alexei. He brings him some Burger King. He gets a strawberry Slurpee, which Alexei doesn't appreciate because he is not a fan of the straw berry.
Yes.
He likes cherry. He specifically asked for cherry. He refuses to cooperate because of Hopper's ill attempt at getting him his Slurpee. Hop gives him the keys, throws him out the door, and says, hey, if you don't like this, go find your own way. Joyce and Murray are kind of concerned, like, wow, why are you letting the Russian guy get away? But Alexei knows that he's fucked.
He's naked.
He's naked, exposed. So he comes back, and Hopper kind of has like a gloaty moment, like, I told you guys, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm
the little key flip.
His second key flip in that sequence, which I noticed this time around. Like, oh, he did that move again.
He's like, classic. That's it again.
Classic.
I love that scene because Hop's trying to control himself, and everybody else is like, oh shit, here he goes. And he's like slinging him around the room, like, I'm not gonna hurt him.
Yeah. Because Alexei can't understand
And
him.
everybody's looking at him like, it looks like you're about to.
Yeah.
It's super funny. David Harbour was awesome this season.
When you guys first saw this scene, did you think Alexei was just going to run and they're going to make Hopper look completely stupid?
Yes. And it's like a triple entendre, or a subversion of expectation because, or I don't know, maybe just double. But yeah, they're definitely, it's set up to be a corny joke where he thinks he's right and the guy just drives away, which is decent and funny. But then he's right. So, yeah.
We go back to Dustin and Erica in the vents. Dustin's trying to unhook a fan so they can make their way out of the Russian base. He informs Erica about their past adventures with the gate and the Demogorgon and everything like that. And, you know, Erica buys it. She believes it, except for one key issue, that Lucas was there. My Lucas, he's a pussy. He ain't going to be there.
I love how many times they do this, brush everybody up on the last 2 seasons to the new character thing, and everybody's like, huh, a
Weird.
gate. Yeah. And then moving on.
And then they discuss that Erica is in fact a nerd because she likes math, she's a political junkie, and she loves My Little Pony. To which Dustin recounts the entire first season of My Little Pony, the cartoon show.
Was it the first season, Steve? Are you a brony?
I'm not a brony, unfortunately.
Oh, damn.
When I worked at the, I used to work at the Danbury movie theater, which was like a second run shitty theater. Don't touch the walls.
Danbury Deluxe,
I was
right?
so sad when it closed.
I don't think I worked at a deluxe. I think mine was
Well, it
just
was just the
Danbury.
one, but there's nothing deluxe about it. But I thought they called it that. But anyway,
Because Danbury
Oh, that
Deluxe
was
was in
Florence
Florence, right?
when
that's where you could see the Matrix for like $1 in
Yeah.
2004, right?
Right.
It was Danbury Dollar Saver.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dollar Saver. I worked at the one in Eastgate, but I remember there was a group of people that would come like every like Wednesday or something, and I always called it the Nerd Melt because it was literally like 6 or 7 people. Individually, they represented some sort of fandom, and they had a brony in their pack who
Nice.
like wore the shirt. He had like a rainbow dash hat and like a ponytail that he had attached to his pants, and I was like, man. And then he's standing right next to the Green Lantern dude who was always decked out in Green Lantern garb. I'm like, you guys are just living the dream. Except for that brony. I don't know what you're doing.
No, you can't have any Skittles.
Yeah. Get out of here, freak. There's nothing wrong with being a brony. Except everything. Cut back to Steve getting interrogated. The Russians refuse to believe that he actually works at Scoops Ahoy, and they think he's a spy. He suggests that if they let him go, he'll give them free USS Butterscotch for life. The Russians laugh, and then they don't believe him. Eventually, he's rejoined with Robin, who seems to have not been interrogated. They seem to have just thrown her in the closet. And
Don't hit the girl too much. Like,
she clearly knows nothing.
Yeah, I asked her. She said she didn't know. So what have
woman.
you guys been doing to the guy?
She says her name. She says her name is Robin, so she knows Batman. Don't fuck with.
Like the fucking new guy was interrogating her, and he comes in, and Steve's all bloody, and he's like, "Oh shit." Let me take her back. You know what? Fuck it now. Let's just leave
There
him
were
here.
2 of them.
Why are you hitting this kid? I was just talking to the other one. So they're getting interrogated. They don't believe him. 11 is searching for the victims of the mind flare and having no such luck. She can't find them in the in-between. Max and Mike argue over 11's health. Max feels as though Mike is being too controlling over 11 and needs to trust her and let her use her powers. And Mike is like, you're conspiring against me. I don't even have pubes yet.
It's word for word.
Word for word. Eventually, they get Nancy and Jaybird in on the conversation, which leads to Nancy saying, "Hey, you need to trust 11." And Mike says, "No, I'm just worried about her, and I love her, and I can't lose her again." And silence falls on the room because he dropped the L word, and it wasn't lesbian.
Yeah, and that saved that scene because the whole time prior to that, I'm just looking up at Mike, like, I hate your fucking face. Yeah. Does anybody else have that feeling when they do those close-ups of Mike? Just like, hate your face. Yeah. It's like all I can think. Hate your face, go away. But yeah, then the last little rushed rant that ends in I love her, was cool. It was cute. And everybody's like, ooh.
Yeah, that was probably the most genuine part of that scene, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because Finn's delivery this season fluctuates between okay and poor, I feel like. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that was probably the best he's been so far is in that moment where he's just...
Finn.
Yeah, peak Finn. Saying, I love a girl. Yeah. So...
And then 11, we now know... Sorry, spoilers. Fuck it. It's like months later. Heard him, right? Which is just interesting with different coloring on that scene. Because she kind of doesn't appear to. Like, she comes out like, what's going on? Anybody loving me out here? No? Okay.
Oh, weird. Well, I found him. Which we don't know who him is. The scene ends right there. She found somebody. A male. Or someone who goes by a male.
Yeah, we don't know who that is, Steve.
We don't know who it is yet. Cut to Alexa explaining the Russians' plan to Hop and Murray. The doorway, he says that the Russians had to go to Hawkins because all of these... keys or gates that they're trying to use in Russia, it was too strong. They couldn't get through. But the gate in Hawkins is still healing, and that's why they're able to use their machine to, open it back up.
Which explains why they're in Hawkins. Mm-hmm. And we get, I believe, a third, like pen and paper, physical metaphor explanation of physics in this show, which I love every time.
Shove a straw through.
They fucking love Event Horizon.
Event Horizon every time, dude. I swear to God, they've done that same sequence a bunch of times.
I respect it.
It's a staple now of the show. Like if there's a season where they don't violate a piece of paper.
Penetrate.
So, Hop and Joyce have their worst fears confirmed that the Russians are reopening the gate that caused all their problems. So Pop has a vodka with Murray. Alexi says that he's compromised. He's naked. Hop wants to take him there so he can turn off the gate, but Alexi says, hey, it's a fortress. It's impossible to break through. Not even Fat Rambo can do it.
No, he says, you're courageous like a fat Rambo. But this facility, even thin Rambo could not get inside. And it's hilarious.
I love the comedy of this transition too, because he says like it's impenetrable. You can't break in. Smash cut to Erica and Dustin just in the green file room finding
popping out of a vent,
an unsupervised golf cart for them to make their escape, and an unsupervised cattle prod.
Yeah.
Do we ever find out what the green goop is? Is that no.
It's just like mysterious fuel.
Okay.
Pure fuel. It's actually the punch from season 2. That's how they power that thing. Unsupervised cattle prod, by the way. I called dibs on that punk band name.
Dude, that would be a sweet.
We are unsupervised cattle prod. Thank you. Good night.
Anyway. Carry on.
Did you guys notice the Demogorgon cage?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I wrote notes on that at the very first time. I thought it was neat. That's super important for the stinger at the end of the season 3, I believe, and just really not so delicately, but also delicately placed in there where Erica, of all people's, like, hey, you know that story you told me like 10 minutes ago about that thing that I believe totally? That cage is big enough. I mean, that's just
that Demogorgon cage is just for him. Sans Lucas, because he wasn't there.
Right. Anyway.
We go to Robin and Steve are still tied up. Steve comes to. They have this plan to do like a Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade where they like are tied back to back and they shimmy over. They want to get the scissors and cut off the bindings, and they're like, there's morons left scissors. Hey, morons.
Another subversion, because it's like classic Indiana Jones style, like, holy shit, there's scissors in a bowl over there, and then they just fall and don't make it. Yeah.
I do love how like they get so happy, like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna fall. But after they fall, they kind of have like a very personal moment where Robin recounts being in Mrs. Click's history class.
Mrs. Clickety Clackety.
Clickety Clackety is what the band nerds called her. And yeah, she talks about how she was obsessed with Steve the Hare Harrington, even though he was just such an asshole douche. And Steve has this great moment where he's like, yeah, you know, being cool is not all it's cracked up to be. It's all bullshit. Did we just have a moment?
Yes.
That was beautiful. Yeah, and he admits that he liked being her schmuck over the summer, but then that leads to the Russians breaking in and be like, what are you idiots doing? Why are you on the floor?
Look at you lying on the floor.
I did not do this.
They couldn't even make it through the scissors we left. Boris, look at this.
We've been watching you on camera the entire time. Great. Who schmuck? We're going to find this clickety clackety. They get them up on their knees. They have Dr. Zarkov come in. I like how Robin assumed that, like, hey, good news, they're bringing you a doctor. Like they're going to come patch him up. Like,
right. Poor sweet summer child.
Yeah, Dr. Zarkov is going to.
Turns out it's the guy from Hostel, bitch. So.
Yeah. He injects Steve with some blue liquid, and then it cuts to 11 spying on Billy, who is alone in his bedroom on 4th of July, seemingly wanting them to come find him for a trap.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about the idea of, like, I love Max has this moment where she's like, it's got to be a trap. Billy wouldn't just be hanging out in his room on 4th of July. Everyone knows that.
Right. That they could have made that a little more a little more subtle, I guess. Like,
I love the camera work of when, and I'm cutting ahead a little bit, when he grabs her arm.
Oh my God, I love it too. All the
slow
quick
fall.
cuts.
That's very well done. But in the flashback, something bothered me. I'm such a petty motherfucker when we start doing these shows. But like the 4th, 5th, 6th time you watch something, you're just looking at like what I would do differently. And there's a goofy scene where they're basically saving the cat for Billy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And showing his terrible childhood and why he is the way that he is. So
I think I know what you're about to talk about, but go ahead.
The dad's like yelling at him like, you little pussy bitch, you couldn't hit the fucking ball. And that's fine. It's a little overmuch, but it's fine.
She chases after him.
She chases Billy and then looks at the dad like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, dude. Gives him the biggest stink eye.
And I'm like, why did they put that in there? Like 11's like, I'm going to calm him down, but you have to apologize. Like,
you mouth breather.
I don't know, that was goofy.
You are on my shit list, bub.
We are breaking up.
Dude, I have that same thought rewatching the episode today. Like, yeah, why the fuck did she turn? It's like, I'm going to call Child Protective Services on you.
That same scene, when she first arrives and little Billy shuffles past her with the board.
Yeah.
I always think that's weird because the boy is holding the board where you can't see his shorts, so it just looks like this naked child is just shimmying past 11 in this weird like little tiptoe shimmy.
Excuse me.
Naked here.
Exposed, I mean.
Who's to say what's art and what's not?
But I mean, there's a long way to go where 11 remembers the rainbow room and how she was able to, make physical contact with her mother in the Upside Down and kind of learn her mother's backstory a little bit. So she thinks she can do it to Billy. She holds Billy's hand. He can see her, and then she like falls. And while she's falling, she kind of gets put into this otherworld beach where she can see Billy's past memories of his mom in California and his dad.
And it's weird the way that sequence is structured because it kind of works because we get to see the whole beach scene, right? Which is Billy's back. That's what she was looking for. But also doesn't work because it puts the mind flare in contact with her and all that's right. So it's kind of like he hacked the system and tricked her, but it also works. So it's weird.
I think I read it in a weird way where the mind flare obviously wants, that contact so he can know where she is. Right. But I think when she's falling, because they make it a point to where she falls and it slows down.
Yeah.
And then she has the vision of Billy's past and then she comes back up. And that's when she has the one-on-one with the mind flare. I almost think that's like somehow either
like a split-second collateral damage thing.
Well, like subconsciously, the real Billy, she accesses the real Billy and not the mind flare Billy. So like, because there's that point
there's
where
a moment right before he grabs her where it looks like Billy.
It looks like Billy, but even after the whole exchange, there's a moment. I mean, skipping ahead when she's talking to the mind flare Billy, like he has the tear roll,
so good.
So you get this impression that Billy's in there and not fully aware of or he doesn't have control of his faculties, and so I feel like that was a cool way to like show like in that instant of her falling, she was able to access the real Billy, despite the mind flare's intended goal.
It's a hot take, bro.
Hot take. That's why they call me Steve Hot Takes. Do you guys have any other thoughts on the beach scene or anything like that?
I just love the way it was staged as like this beautiful beach scene that eventually, it intercuts between different scenes a couple of times. Eventually it turns and faces down the shore and you can see the storm off in the distance. And then you start to see the memories and it starts to get stormier and stormier. And then by the time she finally makes it to that, steel workshop or whatever, it's like she's standing in the eye of the storm, so it's like giant hurricane like going on around her in the distance and stuff, and really cool little accent lighting flashes of lightning like hitting her person and stuff as she's going in, but it's calm otherwise around her. I just thought it was a really neat
it's a beautiful
build up
visualization too. If you just picture your life as like this vast vista and whatever other alliteration you can put in there, and we're like happy
virility,
happy memories with good weather, and then just like these little stormy bad memories. You know what I mean? Like some kind of what dreams may come thing that they did there. You remember that movie?
Oh yeah, Robin Williams.
If you build it. Field of Dreams,
dude. I told somebody about Field of Dreams the other day, and it was my wrist doctor was saying that he had watched Field of Dreams the night before, and I texted this girl about the wrist doctor saying that Field of Dreams totally held up, and she was like, everybody at work was talking about that today. I was like, everybody at work was talking about Field of Dreams, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was the R. Kelly documentary. I was like,
way off.
Field of Dreams is one of those movies where I feel like if you like gave a plot synopsis of that movie to like a Gen Z kid, they'd be like, that's not a fucking real movie. Are you kidding me?
And who the fuck is Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
Superman's dad?
He just let the tornado take him. It was so stupid. Actually, when we were in Alabama,
dry land is a myth. Sorry,
Waterworld.
I couldn't help it.
I don't think I've ever even seen Waterworld.
That's a really good movie.
You should.
Dry land is not a myth. Waterworld. Kevin Costner. Waterworld.
When we were in Alabama last month, we were on the beach, and Hurricane Barry was coming in as we were about to leave. And it was cool because there was a moment where we're on the beach. It's like beautiful and sunny, but if you like look to your left, like a mile down the beach, it's just
Barry.
like there's just a fucking tropical storm right there. I'm like, Stranger Things. Sam, we gotta go down this beach and learn Billy's past.
Steve, no.
Oh, okay, fine.
Don't be a pussy.
Look, it's happening.
I just pictured Steve glaring at the dad and then running.
You fuck.
Quit chasing my kid.
That's why we actually were gone for so long. I got arrested for harassing children. Don't leave Billy alone. I'm Todd. Okay, so we got to Hopper calling Dr. Owens. You know, we all know Dr. Owens from last season. He gets a secretary who says he's like the Philadelphia Public Library, and Hop has a secret code name, which is Antique Chariot. And he tells Dr. Owens to bring the army, and he kind of hangs up like, well, I did my job. That's not enough for Joyce. Their kids are in danger. Hap.
No, the mother hen.
Agent Wheelbarrow.
It's like a switch.
Agent
that's
Wheelbarrow.
I'm Antique Chariot's partner, Wheelbarrow.
Yeah, she calls that guy up and reads him the riot act and gets his ass moving. There's no way that guy's gonna say no to Joyce after getting dressed down on the phone
yes,
like
ma'am.
that. Yeah, I love. Yeah, ma'am, you're gonna have to calm down. Don't patronize me, you big bastard. Robin and Steve get high on truth serum. They're giggling. They keep calling the Russians morons. Robin tells them how they found their way down there because they're morons and they threw the code and she cracked it in a day, and that the army's going to come because Dustin went to get him, and any minute now the USA is going to knock on their door. And the Russian captain kind of laughs, but then the alarm goes off. Ooh.
Oh, put the fear in them, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And for a second, I was like, is the army there?
Man, Dustin worked quick. But no, really, it was just a distraction. Dustin and Erica bust in with their cattle prod and save Steve and Robin. Any thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
I don't know how I feel. I mean, it's really unrealistic, right? And I'm not one of those guys, like some people might throw back, oh, yeah, like other dimensional beings is realistic. I'm like, yeah, it kind of fucking is, you motherfucker. You study physics ever? Sorry. So I don't know, though. Like, I like the twist because Erica wants to go back and help. And Dustin's like, no, the smarter thing is for us to go get help. It's smarter for us and for them. And that's all true, right? And then he goes against logic and says, fuck it, I'm going to take on the whole military base with this cattle prod and a little girl and a golf cart. And then it works, and it only works because Steve happens to be giving that exact speech confidently. So it like puts a modicum of fear into, General or whatever the fuck his name is, right? Tarkovsky, we'll just call him
Well,
that.
the distraction too is they break the green fuel liquid, and it like acid melts through several floors
To the core of the earth, apparently. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went way the fuck down there. I don't know.
what
I
if there
feel
was
like he would
another
have ran
mall?
anyway because I mean, it was the alarm, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it just in that moment, the way that it's
Yeah.
paced, he's like, oh shit, I don't know.
I love Steve's little like smug shrug when the
like,
alarm starts going off. Told you,
That's
bro.
the army for sure. Hey, Dustin, I was just talking about you.
He's like, that's so weird. It trips him the fuck out for a second. Like, oh my God, you just showed up. I love that.
I love Hi, Robin and Steve. It's
We get a
delight.
good hour and a half of that, luckily.
Yeah. We go back to 11 and Billy's memories, and then she wakes up. She kind of reverse shots of her falling down. She wakes up back in the house, but everyone's gone, and only Billy is there. And that's where we get that really cool, all these cool lines from the trailer where it's like, you let us in, now you have to let us stay. We're going to end you and then the world, pretty much.
I love that so much.
Yeah, dude. Have you watched the trailer yet? At any point?
No.
That entire speech is in the fucking trailer. It's crazy because we're talking like this is climactic shit.
Yeah.
And like big enough spoiler that fucking you find out that Billy gets
Is
Hydra.
he giving the speech, or it's just the audio?
You can see.
It's the audio of him like overlaid over the cuts of the trailer.
I think there is one shot of him.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is one singular shot of him delivering the line, so you know that's him. But for like half the trailer, it's just his audio. Then it's like, oh fuck, that's Billy.
Because I was going to say, if it's the audio, the way that it's all like unified, you might not be able to see that it's his voice. But
I mean, it's I haven't watched the trailer since it came out, but
That's crazy.
You definitely know it's Billy by the end, so it must cut.
But
to him
this
at
was
some
so
point.
well done, and because she's navigating this world, she's used her powers for so long. She's finally becoming a woman and confident about the use of them, and now she's just taken completely for a ride. And she comes back. She knows how to escape, and then it's not. You know, it's kind of like an Inception thing.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like layer 2.
Oh my
and now
god, the beach,
my
and
fucking
then the
world.
layer 2. This is straight up Inception, bro.
And there's a little top spinning in the background. She's like, "Oh shit, I gotta get out." I just think it was super well done.
There's
I really
my
enjoyed
kids.
it. Yeah,
Michael Caine just shows up.
Ellen Page.
11. You think I won't love you?
Do not
Well,
go
you're wrong.
gently.
Do not go gently into the night. Yeah, I love the scene too, especially that characterization with Billy. You get the tear coming down his eyes. You're like, there's good in him. I sense it. But I forget how it actually happens. He also mentions that they've been building something for her, so probably the monster is what he's
Yes.
referring to.
And then the many become one, you know. We all know where you are. And we start seeing
Yeah.
everybody individually leaving their spots. And apparently one like little 13-year-old kid that's
Adam,
like
you're gonna miss
at
it.
the festival. Yeah, his little brother. It's like,
Dude, knowing what we know about what happens to those people,
Yeah, that
do you
was
think like
tough.
the next day that little kid that's like, you're gonna miss it? It's like, oh my god, my best friend just walked off and died.
to me, that was like his brother, but I'm just darker, I guess.
Well, there was that one dude who walked off and his wife was like, whatever.
Bill?
Thomas, what are you doing? Get back here.
God damn it, you're always fucking drunk on 4th of
I
July.
can't believe him. He's cooking burgers and he just fucking walked off.
And that,
Whoa. Oh my gosh. What is that? Oh.
That's
Oh.
a pretty dope ringtone,
Oh.
though, for real.
Yeah.
Get it, Steve.
that's the theme song to Succession on HBO. You guys watch that show?
Oh, I have not seen it yet. I've wanted to.
watched
That's
it. Is it
Brian
good?
Cox, right?
Really good. Yes, Brian Cox.
I love Brian Cox.
Really good show. Love it so much I made it my ringtone because I like that song a lot. Thank you. My bad. Thought I put it on silent. Any hoozle. That's the end of that episode though, right?
Yeah, the all the flayed march towards the steelworkers and they like kind of fall apart.
Just
and
falling like
form.
lemmings.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's-
god, it's graphic too.
Yeah, how fucked up is that when they like start like shaking and then they
Yeah.
fall over and like their clothes don't. That's like all oozing out of their clothes. It's gross. And poor Miss O'Driscoll joins them.
And I think I'll be honest how stupid I am. The very first time I saw it, I was like, how are they going to get all the goo back out into those people again? Is it like this show's not going to kill 40 people? But nay.
They did.
Spoiler alert, the goo doesn't come back.
I would argue they were all dead when they drank the Drano.
No, yeah.
So why, other than plot armor, and I'll be the dick here. I'm always the devil's advocate, the devil's dick, if you will.
Hot.
Why?
I'm into it.
Probably barbed.
Why is only Billy left in human form to be an agent, and everyone else is needed to bolster the goo monster?
Because he's a named character that we all know.
Right.
He's also the most physically fit.
That's true.
He's the most handsome. He still has use.
Okay.
The
As a
only
living
justification I could think is that like he was the first one to get Hydra, so it might have the most hold on him, or the least, one of the two.
Well, also, I think Billy's a good one to have because
He's the named character.
Well,
we hit that note
well, he's a
already.
named character, but the Thessal Hydra Mind Flare
Knows that they know him.
knows that they know him, yeah, and specifically Max
yeah, it's
is a
legit.
brother, and you could use his visual or his physical body as like a mind games type thing to really fuck with them and play on their fear and stuff like that. Whereas if you just
And
mold
like
them into,
later reference other Stephen King properties and stuff too.
How else are they going to lure Mrs. Wheeler
and
into
stuff
the
comes up again. And yeah, it occurred to me the very first time, like, Billy's still running around.
I like how I'm trying to give you guys real responses, but in my heart, it's like he's a named character.
We all accept it, though. I get it. It works. It fucking works. Is that the end of our recap segment?
That is the end.
Any other overall thoughts on the episode itself?
That was super cool.
All right, then. Word. That brings us to our Easter Eggo segment, where typically we find a bunch of little tidbits and hidden gems referencing the 80s or things like that, where we can point them out and have fun bringing them up. I don't have any on this episode except a weak one. Burger King.
Nailed it.
Still here. Still have Whoppers, but the original logo was there.
Does Burger King what?
Oh, Burger King.
Do they sell Slurpees?
No, that was from 7-Eleven. It said it on the...
Oh, he got this...
Because he bitched about having to stop at both spots. He was like, Burger King is
Gotcha.
not by 7-Eleven, by the way. And Murray's like, never said it was.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Which
'Cause,
I love
yeah.
their passive-aggressive
I thought maybe
banter.
that was like an 80s thing that Burger King sold Slurpees in the 80s, but no longer.
But KFC does now, if you didn't know.
KFC does?
Yeah, they've got these little iced beverage. Anyway, they're delicious.
Yeah, dude, the Baja IC is delicious.
Is that Taco Bell?
It is, but Andy and I grew up around an area where there's a KFC Taco Bell unified. So now I no longer know if it's in fact KFC or Taco Bell. I just know that building definitely has those.
That's where you go for the Baja.
Yeah.
But go on, Steve. I'm sure you have quite a few.
Actually, there was quite a dearth in this episode.
Good use of dearth, bro.
Thanks. I read a dictionary Monday. Woody Woodpecker. That was what they're watching.
That doesn't count.
God
That's from
damn
like
it, that was my only one.
That's from like the
Was
50s.
that really?
Isn't that from like the fucking 50s? Does that count?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing. It comes back later. We'll say that.
It does. My Little Pony. He mentions he wants to watch Looney Tunes. The shot where the...
Was Woody Woodpecker a Looney Tune? Because he says,
No.
"Can we watch Looney Tunes?" I was like, I didn't think that was a thing.
Yeah, they're separate. No, Andy, that's separate.
Nah.
Completely different universe.
They're like way different.
When the I don't know what you call the little goo monster. That's not the mind flare. That's just the Busey boy, Busey monster.
Yeah, it's like a small version of
When
it. Satellite goo.
When Nancy's on the ground, it's like roaring in her face. I got like Alien 3 vibes
For sure.
with Ripley and the alien. Dr. Zarkov has to be a thing. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Yeah.
That has to be an Eggo. I don't know what it is. I feel like it is. And then finally, Neutron Dance by Pointer Sisters is the song.
Ooh, I was
Yeah.
waiting on it.
Yep.
Nice.
Those are my Easter Eggos.
Classic
yeah.
Pointer Sisters.
Everyone knows the Pointer Sisters.
I'm pretty sure there was a Walden Books in this episode at some point, but
God
I'm not.
damn it, Andy. That brings us to it's been weeks since our last episode. They're not going to get that.
No, that's all right.
When we do our like Eggos. That brings us to our chocolate pudding segment. If you guys don't know, fuck it. I'll explain it right now. I'm happy to.
Lay it on
In
me.
the first season of Stranger Things, Dustin famously screamed, "I found the chocolate pudding!" And it was funny. So then
True
we
that.
called our favorite moment segments the chocolate pudding segment because we found them.
And who doesn't love chocolate pudding?
And who doesn't? I've got some snack packs downstairs I'm going to hit later.
Give me a sweet rip of that snack pack.
Trade you this banana for that snack.
So this brings us to our chocolate pudding segment. Anyway, our top 3 favorite moments from the episode. I've got 5
Holy shit.
that I added to my 3. So I'm going to narrow it down real quick. Andy, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3, chocolate pudding.
Number
Start
3
us off.
is Antique Chariot and Wheelbarrow. Okay. The dynamic duet of these wonderful people. It's just funny, and it's cool to see the dressing down that Joyce gives the agent man, the librarian, if you will. That'd be a cool hitman name, librarian. The librarian.
I thought you were going to say Agent Man.
Agent man. And it was just, I don't know, it was funny. It was a cool dynamic moment of them like at odds, but also like on the same page to an extent. What about you, Steve?
My number 3 is just 11 being a badass, throwing a Busey monster all around the hospital. It was such a sweet moment, and just it looks so violent. And you know, how, like in movies when people get force pushed into walls, very often it's like, that doesn't look like that hurt. This was just wham! Like, yeah, there was some impact there, even though she's throwing around a CGI thing. So yeah, I just anytime 11 flexes, I'm in. So, Chris?
Absolutely. My number 3 is the moment between Steve and Robin when their chair falls. And it's through a different lens now that I've seen the rest of the season, right? So it's not what it looks like at first, where she's confessing love to him. So it's even better now that I know that's not what it is. But just the sweet moment that comes out of nowhere, but also doesn't seem out of place at all, or like it doesn't seem like it doesn't fit due to the circumstances that they're in. Like, why the fuck are you talking about that? You should be scared for your life. Like, it makes sense. They shot it well. It's really great acting, right? And how could it not be with her progeny, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my number 3. Andy, you're number 2.
Let's see. My number 2 is No Cherry, No Deal. The whole sequence with Alexei refusing to work because of his strawberry, and we already talked about it a bunch, but Hopper deciding to let him go and call his bluff, and just I love the dynamic there where Hopper's like so confident, and then like as the car's starting and he's driving away and stuff, like you can see his eyes start to get a little wide, like he's oh my god, it really fucked up
nervous,
here,
yeah.
And just like when Alexei does come back, he's like, I knew it all along. It's like, no, you didn't, but it's still yeah, it's a great sequence.
It was my number 1, and I took it off my list entirely at the very last second.
Damn.
Just want to throw that out there.
That good of an episode, huh?
Steve.
My number 2 is the "You Let Us In" scene with Billy and 11. Just because there's so much menace, and it is kind of I guess it's a very iconic scene since they put it in the goddamn trailer. But it's a great way to get hyped for the rest of the season, because you're just kind of like, oh man, it's on. The chessboard has been set, and this is the match that's going to light the powder keg. So I love it. And I mean, what's his name? Ducker Montgomery. I still need to figure out how you pronounce his first name.
Dacre.
It's Dacre Montgomery.
Oh, buddy, Daycare.
I ain't gonna forget it now. Dacre Montgomery is just amazing when you put him with Millie Bobby Brown, and it's just the two of them in a scene together. I feel like we are so fortunate to be able to watch these two young actors just go to town.
In fact,
not that way. Sorry. As soon as I said make a meal of that scene.
Oh no!
Make a meal of that scene. Fuck.
Make a meal of each other. What?
No.
I was thinking though, like when they're together, anytime they're having a scene together, we call it Millie Billy.
Nice.
Which is
I like it.
Useful, I think. So that's why I took the
super
time
useful.
to bring that up.
And if Mike comes in, it's Millie Billy Vanilli.
My number 2 is the My Little Pony speech given by Dustin. I just think it's wonderful, and I love nerd celebrations, and he just launches into all these details about My Little Pony, and then ergo, it's awesome. It's a little nerd celebration, a little meta. You guys know I love meta. Andy, you're number 1.
And they both love it. It's their little pony.
she tries to catch him up. That's what I love about it. How do you know so much about My Little Pony? And he's like, because I'm a nerd. Boom, don't care.
It's our little pony.
My favorite, my number 1 is the "You Let Us In" scene. Of course, it's just fucking phenomenal acting, incredible writing. Daycare fucking kills that scene. that tear roll, dude. Swear to God, when that happens, it gives me chills just thinking about it. Like, it's so well done.
A single tear roll in a movie can be like super cliched too. So when you get a good one, it's like, hold on to that,
dude. Well, it's only good if it's like a fast, sudden one. You know what I mean? If it like rolls slow, it's like, oh, come on, give me a break.
Come on. Gravity.
I like my tear rolls like I like my sex. Quick.
Don't equate sex and tears. I don't like that.
Salty.
I mean, who doesn't equate sex and tears, if we're being honest?
Oh, no.
But the whole sequence leading up to that, too, specifically the quick cuts when she is reverse falling through the in-between, and all the cuts of like him strangling her and the monster and stuff, intercut with like the slow-mo of the motion.
Very well done.
Slow motion of the motion.
Yeah. Slow motion for me.
Like you do. And then waking up to nothing. You know what I mean? Like you said, the Inception-esque feeling of it was... is the tits.
Is good. That's my number 1 as well, for all the reasons that you guys have enumerated. Obviously, it's the climax of the episode, which is almost the climax of the entire season. So fuck it, right? Like, that's a good moment. Obviously, they put it there for that reason. But I loved it.
Oh, and I forgot all the people walking into the thing, and they're
The
all
audio.
They're all sweaty. They all have neck sweat. Which
You've got that orchestral song where it's like,
Oh, yeah, that was super cool.
And that they decided to have him speak with the unity of them all, like that his voice kind of echoes with the, of Minnie, and just obvious now that I say it out loud that they would choose that, but it's well done. Very effective.
The only part that didn't do it for me was the fact that he was smoking in the vision. So he's like, "Hello, 11." Puts out the cigarette.
Liked it, and you can see Marlboro.
Yeah.
Actually wanted.
Oh yeah, that was my Easter egg.
I quit smoking about 6 months ago, but I really, really fucking wanted a cigarette when he smashed that in there, even though it looks disgusting. I don't know. Sorry. Steve, take us home with your number one.
My number one is, I think, your number three, Chris, and that is the scene with Steve and Robin on the floor, talking about Mrs. Click's class, and everything that you mentioned before is why I love the scene. How it has a different context to it the further you get into the season. I really love the callback to It's Bullshit that Steve kind of heartbreakingly he sees the error of what his life was. I mean, we all know that Steve doesn't view highly of his past, but it's still something that clearly weighs him down. But the main takeaway I have from this is how fucking good Robin is. I think it is. So to compare it to another, not new, but newer female actress with Erica. We love Erica. She's been such a great addition this season. They've given her so much build up, but it feels like she's a character. It feels like there was this, like she was uplifted from nothing to something in terms of the writing of that character.
Yeah.
Whereas Robin literally is a brand new character, but it feels like she's always been there. Like she's always been a member of that team, just the way she fits in so well and nicely into the dynamic that's going on.
And they didn't do anything stupid and make it like, oh, this is Barb's sister that nobody heard about up until now. You know what I mean? It's just, she was there.
New person in the town, but she's been there all along.
Yep. And the two of them knocked it out of the park, and you really latch on to their friendship. That's one of the best things going on in the show currently, I think, is the relationship between Steve and Robin.
And I love that it's not, well, I won't spoil that, but they do something very obvious and then take it away from you with those two, and I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's all we have on episode 6E, Pluribus Unum.
Out of many one. The money words. The money words.
Please email streamingthingspod@gmail.com to say things other than what you've been doing, guys.
Where you been?
But even if that's all you got, that's perfectly fine. We just love hearing from
Actually,
you.
please email us that still. That'd be kind of funny.
Be sure to note where you're writing from and what your name is. You can follow me on Twitter at @CMichaelRudd.
I am at Inkwell Verbal.
I am at Steve May 13.
Ooh, not 13. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Chris.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
My name is Chris.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
My name is Steve.
And I'm Steve also.
And I'm also Steve. Out of many one.